it last week then?
So,
Did I make a mistake with the date?
I don't know. I
yes,
mean,
so
do I owe you for something?
if
You owe me one service 2 weeks ago.
so for 2 weeks ago, that's the
Send
one.
me a new invoice.
So
So
what
when you,
is, so I'm gonna send you an invoice for 2
fine,
weeks for two Shabbats.
okay, because what you sent me last week
I'm
was
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're glad to have you. Hachama Merosh, Ha'ilanot Nistal. The sun has disappeared from the treetops, and we welcome Shabbat with a greater light, a light of Shabbat, a light that comes not from the outside, but from the inside. Hachama Merosh, Ha'ilanot Nistalka.
החמה בראש, האילנות נסתלקה. בואו ונצא לקראת שבת המלכה. הנה היא יורדת, הקדושה הברוכה, ועימה מלאכים, צבא שלום ומנוחה. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom.
Each of us enters this moment with a different need. Some hearts are full of gratitude, full of peace and gratitude, overflowing with love and joy. They are eager to confront the day to make the world a better place. They are recovering from illness or have escaped misfortune. We rejoice with them. Some hearts ache with sorrow. Disappointments weigh heavily on them. Families have been broken. Loved ones lie on a bed of pain. Death has taken a cherished loved one. May our presence and caring bring them comfort. Some hearts are embittered. Ideals are betrayed and mocked. Answers sought in vain. Life has lost its meaning and value. May the knowledge that we too are searching restore our hope and renew our faith.
נרננה לאדוני, נריע לצור אישנו, נקדמה פניו בתודה. בזמינות נריע לו, נקדמה פניו בתודה. בזמינות נריע לו. El Gadol Adonai Umelech Gadol Al Kol Elohim Asher Bedo Mekerei Aren Eto'afot Ha'arim Lo Asher Bedo Mekerei Aren Eto'afot Ha'arim Lo. השמיים ותגל הארץ, ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, יירא הים ומלאכתו השמיים ותגל הארץ ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ וירם הים ומלואו וירם הים ומלואו ילו שדי בכל אשר בו אז ירננו כל הצייר לפני אדוני קיווה לשבות הארץ ישבות תבל וצדק ועמים באמונתו Sing praise to the night with a lyre and melodious song. Zamrur Adonai Bechinon v'kol zimera b'chatzrotzrot v'kol shofar Ariyu lifnei Amelech Adonai Adonai בכינור וכל זמרה חצוצרות וכל שופר הריעו לפני המלך אדוני ירם הים ומלואו והמים במי שערים ירם הים ומלואו דבר ויושביה נהרות ימחאו קו יחד הרים ירדנו לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת וקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת וקבלה שמור וזכור בדיבורך השמיענו אל עמך אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו תפארת אלי תהילה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת וקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת וקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה היא מקור הברכה מראש מקדם דסוכה שוב מעשה במחש שבת קהילה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת וקבלה העורב וביהורי, אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה.
We rise, we turn to the door, we welcome the Shabbat bride.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה.
We welcome Shabbat with the lighting of our candles.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la la la, la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la la la.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and night, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for infinity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows.
Baruch atah Adonai Hamba'ari v'Ravi. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem emet.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Mi hambocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kambocha nehedar v'kodesh. Mi hambocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kambocha nehedar v'kodesh. Nora deilo, Osef elem. Nora deilo, Osef elem. Mi hambocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kambocha nehedar v'kodesh. Mi hambocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kambocha nehedar v'kodesh. ונאמר כפון את יעקב וגלום החזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים, אמן. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים, ועל ירושלים, ועל ירושלים,
The people of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, observing the Sabbath in every generation as a covenant for all time. It is a sign forever between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days the eternal God made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from labor and rested.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Rise for Amidah.
אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו, אלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק, אלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל, אלוהי לאה. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, כומל חסדים טובים. שתי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניכם, למען השמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעם אדוני, מחיה כל אתה, רק להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדום מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, קדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Praise be Adonai for Shabbat and its holiness.
Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Shabbat.
Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence.
Baruch atah Adonai, שדך לבדך, בידה נעבוד, מודים אנחנו לה.
We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one whose mercies never end, O compassionate one whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you.
Shalom Rahal Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahal Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahal Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahal Lechol Shalom Rab Israel Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rab Israel Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam.
Take a moment for silent personal prayer.
Ose shalom bimbrama, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Israel, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Israel ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen. Yalla la 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 la, yalla la la la, yalla la 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 la. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Israel ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen ve'imru amen.
We think about those of our friends and neighbors, members of our community, members of our own family who are in need of God's blessing of healing. On the Shabbat, we are thinking about Andrea Ronchik and Deanna Ronchik, Charles Barna, Francine Barna, Baruch Ben Sion, Ben Bracha Chaya, Osvaldo Barraza, Leslie Center, Sherry Center, Esther Bat Ariel, Lexi Duran, Dr. Helen Fagan, Susan Friedman, Dr. Stephen Geller, Stephen Goldstein, Marion Gordon, Rachel Batkhana, Deborah Hartman, Peter Herrera, Shoshana Cecile Jacobs, Ed Johns, Mindy Elizabeth Jones, Susan Jones, Charles Cantor, Dr. Benjamin Lechner, Jack Lieb, Judy Levy, Susan Linzenbaum, Leah Bat Margalit, Leah Tova Bar, Shammai Ben Michael, Irene Miller, Robert Parker, Elka Rock, Shaul Ben Moshe Verivka, Janice Schneider, Suzette Schultz, Sharon Smith, Lillian Stein, Kevin Webb, Sid Wiesel, Yehudit Bat Rachela Vayankel, Dov Ben Yonah. We ask God's blessing upon them. Mishaberach Avatenu Avraham Yitzhak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah hu yivarech v'yirapeh et cholim Kodesh Baruch Hu Yamalei Rachamim Aleihem Ulhach Limam Ulrapotam Ulhach Azikam Ulhach Yotam v'Yishlach Bimheira Refuah Shlema Refuat Nefesh u'Refuat Guf B'toch Shar Cholei Yisrael Hashta Ba'agalav Isman Kariv and Omar. We say, Amen. Many of you who have been with us on this Shabbat over the past 13 years know that we have commemorated our annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Interfaith Shabbat on this weekend. While we are going to celebrate Dr. King's legacy on January 29th, not next Friday, but the Friday after, I didn't want this weekend to slip by unmarked because I've been thinking a lot. And really, as I continue to reflect on the events surrounding the storming of the U.S. Capitol, I've been thinking about how Dr. King and those who fought the injustices of racial inequality felt in the 1960s. What it must have been like to see something so clearly wrong and yet continued to be supported by so many. For those of you who had the chance to watch the latest episode of Rabbi David's and my video podcast, Face to Face, you know that I have been thinking about the plagues this past week. Whether you can or should compare coronavirus to the plagues that rained down on biblical Egypt in this week's Torah portion. But in addition, I've been thinking about that moment when God instructs Moses and Aaron to go to Pharaoh and demand from him to let the Israelites go. It's not only the injustice of slavery that I've been thinking about, but the knowledge that Pharaoh would not listen to the men. Pharaoh hardened his heart to the pleas of the slaves and further to their representatives. I'm struck by the implications that this story has for the events of the past 2 weeks. God warns Moses and Aaron, though I will multiply my signs and wonders in Egypt, he will not listen to you. I'm disheartened by the idea that even when presented with evidence, some people still do not believe. Their hearts are hardened, and not even miracles will change their minds. Kal v'chomer, all the more so, will evidence that people do not trust, not convince them. I'm thinking about hardened hearts and how they may impact the way we see others and our actions. The 19th century collection of Hasidic commentaries and teachings, Mei HaShiloach, has a wonderful lesson based on the first verse of the Parsha. It talks about how when we see our anger affects those whom we love, we might want to reconsider how we're expressing our anger. Our very, very justifiable anger at some people in our government has a spillover effect on our lives and never stays focused on the target. And we have to think about that. Dr. King taught, hate is too great a burden to bear. Pharaoh's heart is not hardened just when Moses and Aaron are standing in front of him. Over time, it has ossified to the point where he is unable to change his ways. So it is with us. The negativity and anger that I am experiencing in one situation affects other parts of my life. That negativity and anger has a corrosive effect on our lives. I think about the great Israeli poet Yehuda Amichai's poem, The Place Where We Are Right, a poem that I continue to be challenged by, continue to share with you. The place where we are right. From the place where we are right, flowers will never grow in the spring. The place where we are right is hard and trampled like a yard. But doubts and loves dig up the world like a mole, a plow, and a whisper will be heard in the place where the ruined house once stood. We so often get so stuck in our rightness, it causes only destruction. There are those who refuse to engage with the latter simply out of disgust and anger, but many choose not to engage because it is often, not always of course, clear that there is no interest in, and perhaps ability, literally none, to consider perspectives other than our own, making such engagement futile and even counterproductive. So, I think about this weekend, I think about the legacy of Dr. King. I think about the events of the past 2 weeks, and for that matter, what goes on in our own lives. And I ask that just as we pay attention to our heart health, we need to check our hard-hearted health as well. Shabbat Shalom. We rise for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונה. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד,
this moment, we remember Ingrid Roskin, Moshe Aaron Jacobs, Harvey Hutter, all who have died over the past 30 days for whom we are observing Shloshim. And we remember these whose yortzites, the anniversary of their passing, we commemorate this Shabbat. Sarah Adler, Dora Agron, Hattie Ban, Max Behar, Morton Bloom, Milton Cohen, Marilyn Elgart, Harry Endler, Louis Endler, Benjamin Epstein, Abraham Al Feldman, Sophie Feldman, Paul Feldman, Ann Friedman, Milton A. Friedman, Gabrielle Gatzert, Howard Gittleman, Molly Glaubinger, Eva Goldberg, Seal W. Goldman, Theodore Gomberg, Norman S. Gorson, David I. Graubert, Adolf Greenberg, Maria Haber, Jacob Jacobowitz, Julius Klein, Jules Lederberg, Nat Landau, Rachel Lazar, Aaron Matrano, Greta Minsky, Louis Earl Pallett, Herman Rappaport, Evan Resnick, Walter Reuter, Morris Rosenberg, Samuel Roth, Sam Samuels, Leah M. Schechtman, Sherwin Morton Schilling, Morris Simon, Marilyn Smith, Ida Sternbach, Rabbi Richard Sternberger, Stanley M. Teisch, Eva Teisch, Benjamin Wax, Morris Waxman, Morris Weinstein, Meyer Yedlin, Milton Zelaznik, Morris Zimmerman. We remember all of them as we join together for Kaddish Yatom Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrachu te v'yamlich malchute. B'chai echon v'yom echon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'galau v'zman kari v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mavarach Le'elam Olomei Omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei dekudishah.
Brichu.
Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Da milan be'alma v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, huyaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, comfort to all who are bereaved. As together we say, Amen. Once again, I want to wish all of you a Shabbat Shalom. I want to say a special thank you to Beverly Feldman, who is sponsoring our Shabbat service in memory of our beloved Paul, and also to Susan Jones in memory of Wes and his birthday that occurred this week. We have a number of things that are coming up in the weeks to come. I gave you a little hint, but we're coming to that in a second. More importantly is the fact that Purim is coming up. We have not yet hit Adar yet, but we're getting there. But we need to prepare for Purim, and one way is to do that through the mitzvah of mishloach manot, of sending gifts of food to others. And here is a great opportunity for you to fulfill the mitzvah. We are partnering with a program called Purim Project to help you with that. You have the opportunity to send a package, a little food package, to anyone in our congregation, and for that matter, anyone in the United States of America. All you need to do is go online. For those of you who are congregants, you have a special link that was sent to you. And the nice thing is that you not only get to fulfill that mitzvah, but you do an act of tzedakah because this is a little fundraiser for Temple Sinai. So we are delighted and thank our team who has been working on this. As I mentioned earlier, our Dr. Martin Luther King Interfaith Shabbat, our 13th year doing this, will happen on January 29th. Right here, it will be streamed on a regular Shabbat, at regular Shabbat time, but what's going to be wonderful is we're going to have the participation of lots of my clergy colleagues from other faiths, as well as our combined Temple Sinai choral ensemble, combined with the Shabbat gospel singers. So it will be a wonderful celebration of Dr. King's life and legacy. I think, one more. For those of you who weren't able to join me last week for our Lunch and Learn, don't worry, you have 2 more opportunities. Next one coming up February 3rd. Just come. It's only limited to 10 people because we are going to physically distance. You're each going to get your own table, unless you bring your spouse, in which case we'll let you sit together. But you can bring your own lunch, or you can order a sandwich through us. I have some thoughts, some current ideas, and want to share and want us to have some nice stimulating conversation. So I think that covers all of our announcements. I'm going to find out. Oh, yep, it is indeed. So we are going to conclude with this. We're going to conclude with the singing of "Let My People Go."
Because
it is Shabbat.
yeah, no, it's the parasha that in which Moses says to Pharaoh, "Shlach na et ami." So it says, "Let my people go." This is the time of the year where we read that portion. So, in honor of that, we are going to sing that song. We can do it at number 12.
Yep.
Sorry, number
10.
Number 10. Sorry.
That's it.
When Israel was in Egypt land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand. Let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh to let my people go. Thus said the Lord, bold Moses said, let my people go. If not, I'll smite your firstborn dead. Let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh to let my people go. No more shall they in bondage toil. Let my people go. Let them come out with Egypt's spoil. Let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. Let my people go. Let my people go.
Conclude with Kiddush and Motzi.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצבנו בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים. טיבנו בחרת אותנו קידשת מכל עולמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom.